Hey, happy Monday. Yes, I can hear you guys tonight. It would have been a real problem. So Wednesday, you weren't here, obviously, Robbie. There he is. Scared me. I didn't get a text and you're late. And
Late?
so
This show doesn't start till I get here. What are you doing? Just talking to people? Here,
Sit
buy
down.
comics. Yeah,
Sit
that's,
down,
that's
man.
fun.
So anyway, so I could not hear. Oof. Like no matter what I did, I moved it around. Turns out I need to reboot my computer. So it was just one of those little glitches, but it would have been a real problem if we did it, if it happened on Monday. Because then I wouldn't. So everyone, well, the chat's not a problem. Jay had to communicate with me through private chat or open chat, whatever the case may be. So John finally rolls in.
Well, I was talking
to give us the pleasure of his company.
I had to stop at Mariano's desk because, there's stuff on
shopping.
that desk.
Go shopping.
I did have to go shopping. It's the best way to get a hold of this chromium red Sonia card.
Yeah, the one. So he found it. He decided to clean his desk last week.
I noticed that. I asked him where the inventory moved to, and the guy that sits next to him just started laughing like, what?
Good question, Jay. Very good question. I'm not sure. All right, so CJ, the Power Man sketch cover. If you draw it, I will put it on, my man. Guaranteed.
Do we have the Hourman sketch cover?
Yes, we do. The John Cole personal request.
That was. I just, you know what? You don't see much with Golden Age Hourman. You just don't. And I thought this was a chance for us to just, something very cool.
All right. So, Robbie, what is the movie tonight?
Ford Fairlane.
That's right. We talked about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Adventures of Ford Fairlane. This is we're in Crew's choice. This is actually Castle's pick. This is Big John Spilio's pick. The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. And if you've gotten to hang out with Spiliotopoulos, you definitely understand why he loves this movie so much. But man, this movie was impossible to find. It's not on any streaming services to rent or just to stream or to buy. Like, it's a hard movie to get a hold of. Let me tell you something. It was a fun revisit. It's going to be even better of a conversation tonight.
So where did you find it?
Well, probably VHS or DVD, right?
I'm not allowed at liberty to discuss these things because we got to keep everything above board here over at the EXP. But I found my ways out there on the high seas. Yeah, and Morris Day's in it too, Jay. You're right. I forgot who was in this movie. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I forgot Ed O'Neill was in this movie. I forgot Priscilla Presley. It's the only other movies she's done outside of Naked Gun.
Hey, how'd you forget that, man?
I haven't seen this movie since I was like 10 years old, man. So, man, Lauren Holly is in it. Vince Neil, Tone Loc.
Flying out a window in this movie, which is hysterical.
Yeah, she had a minute, and then it got crushed. It was after her divorce.
This is a great movie. This might be I'm the most excited for a movie that Robbie's going to talk about. This movie is. I was one of those people that went to like 11, 12.
All right, Preston. People would say Morris Day didn't actually sing in the Prince movies.
He doesn't sing in this one either. He's just kind of there. He's like a record producer. Something like that. Yeah, I hadn't seen this movie in a long time. It's going to be a fun conversation. Big John will be there.
Nice.
It's going to be an interesting panel for sure. I'll tell you what, I was getting this movie confused with, what is it, Brain Smasher, A Love Story, the one he did with Terry Hatcher, which I remember that one. Yeah, and so I was getting these movies confused. But
I definitely didn't see that one.
There's like a few movies that prop up periodically from the 80s. And you're like, holy cow, I forgot this movie existed. A lot of times there's movies with like Joe Piscopo shows up in a movie where he's like a cop and comes back from being dead. And you know what I mean? He's like a zombie cop now. And people forget the movie existed. And then it shows up, like YouTube, whatever. And, you lose an hour and 45 minutes of your life because you just sit there and watch it.
Yeah, and Robert Englund's in the movie. Like, I completely forgot Robert Englund was in this movie. He's actually playing a role that was written for Billy Idol. But Billy Idol got hurt or something, and so Robert Englund had to come in and do the role.
I remember the rumor back then was Billy Idol was doing a show at, like, SUNY Binghamton or something. And when he was doing Dancing with Myself, he was wasted like everybody was in the 80s on stage. And while he was dancing with himself, He danced and danced, and he danced right off the stage, cracked his tailbone, and he had to miss doing this movie.
Binghamton is actually a very nice town.
It's a huge arena. People were like, wait a minute, Billy Joel was at a college? Trust me, this arena was like 14,000 people.
Yeah, but I mean, the town itself is the drive in. I had to go there once for a softball tournament. Not much there, but the drive there was very nice. You come in like on the side of a mountain. Yeah, so it's really very, very.
Although I'm sure Billy just flew in. You know?
Yeah, I'm not Billy Idol.
No, I mean flew in for being high all the time.
Oh yeah, that too.
I love it.
Another thing I forgot about the movie is it had a killer soundtrack that did really, really well, and it's the soundtrack that they did Cradle of Love on. And I didn't ever realize that. Like, I just didn't remember it or whatever. But Cradle of Love has moments from the Ford Fairlane movie in the music video, but none including Andrew Dice Clay, because remember, he got banned from MTV for doing his dirty nursery rhymes at the Video Music Awards or something like that. It's a pretty funny story.
It's just one of the things about this movie which absolutely cracks me up is if you ever watch any of like the car restoration shows, I'll watch them, like I'll binge some. I'll be home one day and I won't feel like doing anything, so I'm just watching a whole season of, you know, Bitch and Rides or one of these kinds of crazy shows or whatever. And one of the guys talks about he's restoring a Ford Fairlane, and he said like he inherited, like he's like third generation car restoration guy, and he said without the Andrew Dice Clay movie, he's like, the Ford Fairlane would be disintegrating in parking lots.
Yeah, right.
He's like, because people were looking for like Chevy Bel Airs and this and that. Nobody was looking to restore a Ford Fairlane until that movie came out. And now if you can find one, even as trash, they're 30 or 40 grand, and you got to put like 150 into it to get it road ready. People don't hesitate. They don't blink an eye.
They had to announce that when they blew up the Ford Fairlane in the movie, they had to let everybody know it was a replica they blew up, because it really upset a lot of classic car fans.
Yeah, the classic car fans are like, you know, and I think one or two other movies did that too. Like one of the Lethal Weapon movies, there's a scene where you've got the cool M6 series, which was like the car. If you were like a driving guy in the 80s, you wanted like a BMW M6. Right. There's an orange one and a black one, and they're just tear-assing through town or whatever. Apparently, in one of those scenes, they blast into like a classic car. And people were like, what are you doing? They're like, no. These, you know, that it's just a shell, man. It's just a shell. We're not trashing, you know.
Don't jinx us, Preston.
Honestly, when he said that, Jay should have just pulled the plug. He just should have threw up the, you know, we're having technical difficulties. There you go. Please stand by.
All right. Let's do shout outs. Let's see who was first in the room. All right.
Not
so
me.
Weird. Hey, what's going on, bud? Let's see. Easy
Nice.
Go Lucky. What's going on? TJ. Let's see. Who else?
Oh, I'll have to
Preston,
check
of
it out.
course.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that.
You're a poet and didn't even know it, Steve.
Oh. Hey, when a guy
Prepping for the movie night.
when a guy comes to do his comedy concert and he's wearing like a jacket from Greece, and at the time it was the American Wrestling Association's heavyweight wrestling belt around his I was already in. The guy opened his mouth, and I think I bought tickets for like the next 2 years when he was anywhere within like 6 or 8 hours of Jersey. I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's go.
I was listening a little bit today to The Day the Laughter Died, which is like the comedy album he did intentionally to a crowd that wouldn't like him, small, late at night over at Dangerfields, and he just like lays into the crowd. People start leaving. There's like and then I read the backstory of it. I don't know. I think it's rather genius. I was cracking up listening to that.
I think that guy was, you know, like at the time I remember Dennis Miller had a talk show, and it was a clever talk show. Dennis Miller was like the intellectual comic. In a lot of ways, he was the opposite of Andrew Dice Clay, because he was sort of obscure references and taking like 15 minutes to make a joke. Meanwhile, Andrew Dice Clay came out with like a machine gun. And always the low road. Always
Yeah.
the low road. And he said something about, why are people so upset? He goes, I'm not a fan of this guy, but why are you so upset? It's Fonzie with Tourette's. And the best part of that joke was people for days were looking up what Tourette's was. Because this was like the very early 90s. You know, Dennis Miller
and
had his talk show.
He was one of those first comedians that a lot of people went after, right? You know, people like to talk about things like cancel culture and stuff like that as if it's a new thing, which it's not. But like, people went after him hardcore, and it's crazy because like he's a character, right? Like the real Andrew Clay is not like Andrew Dice Clay, apparently, right? He's first of all, he's a Jewish man from Brooklyn. He's not like Italian. He's playing up that macho thing, and it's all based on what's his name from Nutty Professor, Jerry Lewis. It's all based on that. Yeah, it's all based on that with a little bit of John Travolta thrown in there. Like it's a character, right? But I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, I ate that stuff up, man. And a lot of kids like Andrew Dice Clay. Not just kids. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Thought that was the dude. Like he walked around, walked into a supermarket, like, and you know, grabbed the smokes and headed out or whatever. And he talked about, you know, he worked for years, nobody cared. He wrote for years, nobody cared. So almost like the Stan Lee and his wife conversation. You know, I think at the time she's his girlfriend. She goes, "Well, just try one more thing, and then if it doesn't work out, get a job." And he comes up with this Andrew Dice Clay character, which is
and took off.
And it took off. And I
love him, hate him, or whatever.
He had a reality show on like a deep cable channel, and it was something like meeting dice or shooting dice or whatever. And it was literally him just showing you his life as Andrew Clay.
Right.
Where people are shocked to find out, like Robbie mentioned, he's a Jewish guy. He's kind of like a homebody guy. You know what I mean? He's not, you know, he had his vices, but you know, he wasn't.
Who didn't?
If you look at the 80s, he was probably one of the cleaner guys in the 80s.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, you know,
but you know, it's crazy that everybody went after him. But like, you go back and you listen to some like I love Eddie Murphy's Delirious and Raw.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Some of those jokes don't age very well for the modern audience, you know what I'm saying, or sensibility. But it was Andrew Dice, like they intentionally like were him. I remember he was supposed to be on Saturday Night Live. Nora Dunn, Sinead O'Connor refused to perform that night. Like all kinds of crazy stuff. Man, he took a lot of heat for what he did. And then, I mean, his movies were not successful. And he could have been, I don't know. I don't know if he would have had a successful movie career in the long term playing just the same character.
The character was very thin. You know, after a while, it started to lose its allure. You know, there wasn't any depth to the character. So the problem is that you can only make so many Ford Fairlanes, and then people get tired of it.
Now it's like, so I haven't seen it, but that remake they did of A Star Is Born, apparently he's in there playing Lady Gaga's dad. He won or was nominated for like some like prestigious award, maybe a Golden Globe or something.
Yeah. But enough time had passed at that point.
He's apparently been in a lot of good stuff, doing a lot of good acting.
Enough time I feel like has passed since his Andrew Dice Clay days that people forgot.
It's just what happened with Andrew Dice Clay is what happened with pro wrestling. I always use everything. The analogy is pro wrestling because pro wrestling is everything. The guy played a character. The problem was the character was based on a gimmick that was thin. The character didn't have any depth. It was he comes out, he says outrageous stuff, he's dressed outrageously, and then he takes off, right? Like you said, after 2.5 years of touring, I don't know how much there is there to build a career. I do think that if he had played the Hollywood game better, I do think Ford Fairlane could have probably gotten a couple movies. I looked at the movies. I mean, let's be honest. They're making like Trancers over and over again in the 80s and into the 90s. I love Trancers, by the way. Terrible movies.
Everybody take a drink because John found a way to bring up Trancers yet again. So every time he does that, you got
to. I mean, I love Trancers, but to be honest, you know, if this was like a high level, you know, if Robbie was doing like the American Film Institute podcast instead of PCP, he'd be like, this movie is categorically awful. But because it's PCP, it'll be in the rotation. It'll be people watching.
Probably one of the most talented comedians I remember was Jim Carrey, right? And I think he could have been a phenomenal actor. He had a lot of range, like Robin Williams. Okay. I think Robin Williams was able to step out of what he was typecast as with Good Morning Vietnam. It showed kind of his acting chops, and I feel
Not Aladdin?
Huh?
Not Aladdin?
And I think Jim Carrey never got that opportunity to step out of
Well, I
it.
think after Man on the Moon, he even said he did not want to have to play the Hollywood game to get the roles he wanted.
And he
So
made enough money.
He
so
took his
didn't have to
money
do it.
and he went home. Sure, you see him do stuff or whatever, but after he was like the Riddler in Batman, you know, that wound up being close to an 8-figure payday. 2 or 3 other movies, Ace Ventura, these things earned revenue. You look at movies like, I was just about to mention this, Marcus, The Truman Show. That is an awesome movie.
It is.
And I think that guy decided he did a few movies that made money. Then he did a few movies that were really good. And he still found himself in this weird position of having to, you know, read for parts. And he said, you know what? I don't want to do that. I am going to take my money and my ball and go home. And if I choose to do something, I'll do it. And if I don't, well,
I hear that. I mean,
I to be honest with you, I would be, if I, let's just say there's a weird alternate reality out there where I'm a movie star and I've created some kind of character, right? And after 3 movies, I've made $50 million because Hollywood is stupid money. And they still wanted me to read for movie parts. I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. It's a yes or no. And if it's no, I'm going to,
I understand.
I'm going to step out of my Bel Air mansion. I'm going to jump into my middle finger shaped swimming pool and not take your call again. Because you've got what is called FU money.
I think that the key was, though, is that for Jim Carrey, yeah, he chose to do that. But it shows you how difficult it is to make, to I don't know, make a foundation, okay?
Yeah.
And as in that field. So I think Andrew Dice Clay, it would have been tough. You know, he didn't have the kind of deep kind of body of work that Jim Carrey had. And Jim Carrey, they were still having him audition, you know. So, you know, where does that leave Andrew Clay? So I feel like it would have been a tough road for him. But I think, you know, he certainly wasn't the person that he portrayed himself to be. But it worked.
It definitely worked. He was the first comedian to sell back-to-back shows out at Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden. There are certain places that, not so much today, it's a very different world, but a lot of times I'll explain to my nieces and nephews and godchildren, we were in New York, my wife and I, we go up to New York every year. Our niece is in this competition. Now she's done, it's a high school competition. We go to Lincoln Center. The train lets us off at Madison Square Garden. We meet, we grab lunch somewhere, blah, blah, blah. I was explaining to my nephew and my godson, like, what Madison Square Garden meant from like the 80s until like the mid to early 90s. Like, if you did not play there and if you did not sell out there, it didn't matter what you did elsewhere.
Yeah.
This is before Caesars started having, you know, world championship boxing in their parking lot and all this other kind of stuff. It didn't matter if it was pro wrestling. It didn't matter if it was a concert. It was a boxing match. You're playing the Garden. If you the bed here,
screw it up.
You're going to take a seat. And people, I didn't understand it. I said it was an allure. It was a time. There's a lot going on. New York was probably at its most electric in the 80s.
Yeah,
I
would agree.
That's partly how we even know the name Donald Trump. Let's be honest, because before that, he was just another rich dude. You know, how many people can you name? This was a guy that put himself out there, Mr. New York, this, that, or whatever. And that was like his original sort of thing. I mean, they're putting him in movies like Home Alone or whatever.
Yeah, I first heard of Donald Trump because he was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's at WrestleMania. This is a guy that's sort of, and again, Madison Square Garden type deal. It's hard to explain. There's probably someone who has a ton more talent, writing ability or whatever, that may already have written a story or movie or something about that kind of era, right? Because in the 70s, if you see New York movies in the 70s, New York is terrible. It's awful. It's dirty. Yeah. Garbage isn't being picked up. There's strikes.
The movie Warriors.
Then all of a sudden we get to this point in the 80s where
they clean it up.
It was
Ed Koch, I believe, was mayor.
And it's like a whole thing. And all of a sudden, now like the Garden matters again. Like the Yankees start winning again. you can make the argument that, you know, that was all a work, you know. New York got the push from those behind the scenes. But, you know, the reality is, it's one of those things. This sounds super gatekeeper, and I don't mean it this way, but it's hard to understand it if you weren't there. Because on paper, it probably looks kind of lame. Like every city is like this.
All right. So let's finish up with shout outs. Let's see. Where did I leave off?
Why am I seeing podcasts in our podcast show?
What?
Our streaming show.
What are you talking about? All right, hold on.
I saw Weird Dopes. What else did I say?
Let's see. I have no idea where I left off in the show.
We have probably the most. Yeah, hello everybody. We have probably the most talented streaming audience of any of these shows that I watch. How many of these people are attached to other projects they're doing?
A lot of them.
Jay does at least 16 things a day if you follow him on Facebook. It's some comic thing. It's a crypt this, it's that, Coffin Comics, endless. And this is the guy who's just pushing the buttons here. We got tons of other people.
Well, he does more than just push buttons, but I get your point. All right, so.
Well, he pushes the button. Without pushing the buttons, there's no show.
It's mostly pushing buttons, guys. Okay, I've done that gig, all right? It's
and here he is, Heel Robbie. If you missed him, here he is. All right.
Yo, I got a button for you to push, Jay.
Hey, why don't you go back to talking about comics, man? Because movies and stuff just ain't your thing.
Ooh, smack.
Yikes.
This may be the year of the heel Jay as well.
Oh, I would
like it.
You know what? If he had a Kickstarter for this, I would send money to heel Jay.
All right, so Preston,
his avatar is the Superman in the black suit.
Jay's looking into it right now. He's Googling how to start a Kickstarter.
He's got Neil before Zod, but it's Neil before Jay.
All right, so let's see here. Let's see, Preston, Triple B, what's up?
Robbie's Heel World
Commander
Order,
B,
taking over
what's
the
up?
Experience.
Marcus, as always. And Preston, I said, or Adrian Montanez, what's up, man?
You'll have to grab one of your guys like Jelani or something and have him lay on the floor. What happened to Jelani? We don't know. Oh, somebody took him out.
All right. So let's see. Easy Go Lucky. Did I say hi to him?
It's pop culture
Space
philosopher.
Case. What's happening, bud? Weird-Dopes. What's happening, bro? Let me see.
Nice. That would be, you know what? I'd probably have that coming too. I don't even think I could complain that much.
It's gonna be like the break.
I would never. See, so Comic Tunes. What's up, Jeff?
Make sure my hands are cuffed behind my back, so I got to take the full shot like Mick Foley did.
The two of them are going to be streaming as soon as they start doing the show from a barber shop. That's when you got to worry that the heel turn is coming, right? John gets kicked through the window.
No, I'm serious. I owe John. So
he looks over at me. I'm sorry, man. I love you.
John has carte blanche. I owe John. So he really helped me out with my kid.
I'm glad that worked out, man. It sounded like everybody was happy.
It was very stressful. So as I'm pretty sure I told everyone at some point, Christina Payne, what's going on?
Courtney said that they got good feedback. You know, like the people at Brown saying good feedback. Everybody was happy. Everybody was
everybody was happy. There was a kind of, Chinese soup spoon. So they had some sort of salmon thing, and it was very good.
Oh, yeah, they do that with the tasting or whatever.
Yeah, but it was just like all of a sudden you had a bunch of people standing around with these empty spoons, which was, a little weird.
I'm not the biggest fan.
I would have liked a plate, but whatever.
When I got into catering, that was a big deal when I first broke in. That's kind of dated, like the soup spoon. The truth is, I love those spoons for soup. I got a whole bunch of them. At no point would I say, "Hey, bro, you want something to eat?"
I use them all the time, but it just felt like for that particular hors d'oeuvre, I really could have used a small plate. That's
I explain to people, there's a reason it's called a dumpling spoon.
Yeah,
dumpling goes in there.
Yeah, right.
Not.
So my only other complaint was my daughter decided that everyone was having different kinds of mimosas. So that was nice. The bartender was nice, explaining what each one was.
Yeah.
But I really just wanted a beer. And I'm sure I could have gotten one, and paid for it, which I wouldn't mind. But then I didn't want my daughter to get upset. I'm the only one in the room
I'll
drinking
tell you
friggin' beer.
a little behind the scenes with Braddock's. If you want a beer and there's nothing up there, they always have Farm Truck Brewing, because the general manager, it's like 4 or 5 doors down, and he drinks beer. They always have these cocktails.
Yeah, well, Kings Road is
That's
right down the road. Yeah, it's within walking distance.
We'll be back after our break or something.
Oh yeah, well, that's kind of the break thing is not carved in stone, I'd say.
Again,
not on this show.
Jason pulled the plug, man.
Nothing is carved in stone on this show.
2-minute warning.
So,
just blank.
John, did you bring the hot dogs?
What? No, I won't. We have to. I spoke with Ed and Colin. We want to try to figure out a way that we'll pick a winner on this show, and they'll have to ship them.
There you go.
Honestly, they didn't expect the demand.
No, I don't mean about them. I meant mine. You don't have to pack it in any kind of dry ice. I'll take it home. We have fridge here at work.
I'll have to try.
It's all about me, bro. It's for me. I whatever these guys. I don't care.
I'm super happy. They've done 3 batches. Each batch has been
Sold
double in
out.
size. All 3 is sold out.
Nice.
I had someone message me. Someone texted me literally today from the store in Haddonfield and said, "Do I have to go to Collingswood to get these? Because Haddonfield's out." And I said, I would call before you go over there, even though it's not that far.
All the way over there.
And they said, "Oh, well,
yeah,
probably
Haddonfield, Collingswood.
it's like 3-4 miles." But I didn't want him to go over there, and he wound up going over anyway to get breakfast. But they didn't have them either, and they were very sorry. They had like a little sign up. We've got them. It's like a 2-day process.
Not that at Haddonfield, sir. All right, so. All right, we do have to take our first break.
Actually, Eddie should know this.
What?
The reason Haddonfield is in Halloween is because I don't know if it's Deborah Carpenter's. It comes from Haddonfield, New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not
It's
know
like a
that.
whole thing. You can look it up. I'm not 100% sure if it's Deborah Carpenter. One of the people on the creative team of the original Halloween is from Haddonfield, New Jersey. And that's where the name comes from.
Got you. All right, so no new Dynamite books this week. So we
at this point, I'm just going to start telling you what writers have told me they're working on.
Fair
And
enough.
eventually you'll catch up when the books come
But
out.
we mostly back issues tonight, all very reasonably priced, and sketch covers, and then one Red Sonja Lucio Perillo metal card. All right.
Nice.
This is what I call a Mariano cleaning up his desk. He appears at my desk with this. Yeah, Preston, it's not me, dude. Above my pay grade, dude.
Do I have to go in and speak with the publisher?
Aren't you going to do that anyway?
I'm going to go in and do that anyway, but I'm pretty
So
sure
what's the difference?
he would like to have.
So I believe it has something to do with, obviously Diamond is defunct, more or less. So I believe that we will be with a new
I've kind
distributor.
of avoided saying anything, but it just doesn't seem like they're there.
I
You know
just
what I mean?
don't. Yeah,
I'm sure that there are people closer in the industry that have a more accurate view, a clearer view. But from the friends I've talked to that are retailers and have shops and stuff like that online, they just don't seem to think,
So I believe this is all our transition to a new distributor. I don't know who it is, people. That's outside.
It's
Again,
going to be you and I in the Dynamite Bookmobile.
God, I
and we'll
hope
just be
not.
driving to town.
God, I hope not.
Kids
We'll
will come
we'll
on
get
in.
one case out a day. So I believe it's all due to that. So there's a hold up. No books.
Guy.
I'm sure I have the books in my warehouse, but as always, we do not want to be out there competing with the LCSs. So if they haven't gotten their books, we're not going to show ours. So hopefully by next week, I'll have new Dynamite books, to present, but none today. Sorry, guys. And probably none Wednesday either, unless I'm told different. All right, let's go ahead and take our first break. We'll be right back, and then we will do the giveaways.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
FOC, a comic industry term for the final day a new comic can be ordered by a local comic shop. So, what does that mean to you? Well, it's your last chance to order a new comic book from your local comic shop. Order up! The FOC show will go over every book that's about to be cut off every Friday afternoon.
I'm going to highlight some of the stuff that I think is really worth paying attention to,
so that you can put in an order at your LCS for as many copies or as many variant covers as you want.
Sometimes the store needs to know to up their orders.
Never miss out on a popular comic again. Order up, part of the experience.
Download our app on Google Play and the App Store. It's so simple, even my mommy can use it. In a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, that'd be really great, thanks.
All right, we're back. All right, so the comments winner from last week, there weren't a lot of comments, so I just felt like, and nothing jumped out at me, but I just felt like it was Ed Weir's turn, mainly because the giveaway of the night is Evil Ernie #1, signed by Ken Hazer. And I know that Ed Weird is a huge horror fan. So I figured out of everyone there, I'll give it to Ed Weird. So congrats, Ed Weird. You're the man today. All right. So the giveaway of the night is Incredible Hulk #25, 125 ratio by Paulo Segura. And I also have one for sale, but I'm giving one away. All right. Yeah, I figured you like that, Ed Weird. So I picked the giveaway, and then I decided, you know what? Again, more comments, more chance to win for everyone. But out of the group there, I figured, wait, did Corey leave? Did I say that? If I said that, Corey, I'm sorry. I might have. So you know what? Did you leave a comment, Corey? If you did, I'll pick you as the winner on Wednesday. If you didn't, then I'm in the clear. Which is all that's... Yeah, Corey, if I see it, I will... Did he leave a comment, Marcus? I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, the good news is I got Herculoids #5. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, there we go. All about you, John. All right. You did not leave a comment, Corey.
Oh,
I'm off the hook. All right. All right. So, yeah, but I didn't remember saying that, to be honest with you, Marcus. So I would have missed it if he did leave one.
Looking forward to Red Sonja Noir when it comes out. That's kind of like a little unique approach for Red Sonja.
Speak to the publisher if you want your advanced copy.
My advanced copy isn't the problem. I would really like everyone else to be seeing these.
All right. So, so mostly back issues and sketch covers. And then the one metal card by Lucho Perillo. All right. So let's get started.
By the way, Mariano thought I was kidding.
About what?
when he said I had to clear off my desk and I've hidden the metal cards. And I said, you honestly don't think I have a metal detector in my shed? He's like, you wouldn't. I said, I will come in here with the full headphones and the whole
Dude,
thing.
with all the metal books, all we gotta do is scatter metal books on his desk, and you're done. It'll be beeping the whole time. All right, so
He actually has a desk though. I just thought it was a pile of stuff, but under all that, there's like a desk.
Yeah,
with
there
a
is
computer,
actually a
like
desk.
a grown up or whatever.
all right. As always, Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher. And as always, we got it for $5 to the group.
That's a cool question that Stevie B. Did you guys touch base on that? Do you think it's better to be well-rounded in your tastes of comics or have a niche? See, I'm not well-rounded. There are things I like, and I don't care what else is going on. I'm probably not the ideal comic
I can
fan.
see the plus of both, doing both. You know, it's nice to be well-rounded, but it's nice to focus on one niche. Otherwise, there's so much to read.
Yeah, I think it's whatever you're into, whatever makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like what you said, Rex. Maybe a little bit of both. You know, like I'll buy any Fantastic Four comic. Right? They publish a Fantastic Four comic. It could be the worst comic in the world. I will buy it. Right? But I also like to broaden my horizons, read things I wouldn't typically, expect to enjoy and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's all up to you. Whatever makes you happy and fulfills your life.
No, I agree.
How much do I like the Fantastic Four? I was reading Herbie on Marvel Infinity. I think that's for kids. I'm not 100% sure, man. I think Herbie is meant for like young audiences. But when it came up, when I saw the Fantastic Four, I'm like, all right.
All right. So next up,
I'm all for diversity and exploring what you like about comics and everything like that. The only thing we don't like is vegans.
Is what?
Vegans.
Vegan.
You mean vegans, the comic book, or as in the comic book cover, or do you
No,
mean
like
vegans?
people that are vegan.
No, like they just stop feeding them,
You
man.
that's how you lose subscribers there, Robbie. That's how
I'm
you
sorry.
lose subs.
That's a bit from last night's show. Somebody came at me because they said I hated vegans. So now I'm
Yes.
going to lean into the fact that I hate vegans, which apparently I do. I don't know.
Why? Why do you hate vegans?
Well, because they would never buy John Cole's hot dog products. How about that?
That's true. They would not. Oh, it's Amy.
That's more for
Just
us.
saying hi.
Hi, Amy.
Hi. Hi, Robbie.
Hi, Amy.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay. A little slow
What
today,
do you
but
feel? How do you
still
feel about
time.
vegans?
Vegans?
Yeah, not the comic book cover, the term we used to use,
Oh,
but
I
actual.
need a
vegans.
I
Remake.
respect the choice, but I don't think I could do it.
Okay.
When people say to me, eat vegetables, I'm like, you mean like chicken? Like, I'm the worst person to say.
What is that movie? Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah,
Remember when the aunt says, "No problem, I'll make lamb."
I'll make lamb.
see,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
eat beef.
Yes, thank you, CJ. Fill out the forms, hit the likes, because there were some slackers last week.
Ooh, now you're in trouble.
Ooh.
Now we know why she's in the
Marcus,
house.
I cannot
I thought
wait.
I thought I could trust you guys, so that's why I didn't come in last week. But no, I got
Too
disappointed.
many of them are focused on their own podcasts and YouTube shows now. That's what the problem is. Every third person in the chat's got like a side hustle now. They got no time to be filling out the forms.
But just had to make sure I did that. Filled the form.
That's right.
Like the video.
Fill out the forms.
Please.
Oh, and while Amy's here, I meant to say this before. Amy does these really cool creator interviews. Go find them and watch them, because a lot of times when people like, oh, I heard this or oh, I read that, go find her interview and you'll find out actually from the creator what's happening, not what somebody said, this, that, or whatever.
Thank you, John.
Amy got to get these people in the conversations, and they, right. I
am chatting with Christopher Priest tomorrow, by the way.
Ooh, cool.
Very
cool.
What time and where?
2 on the Dynamite channel, not the EXP, our main Dynamite entertainment channel.
Cool. So tune in, check it out.
Which, by the way, Robbie,
I had Priest on the show last Friday, and that was such a trip for me. I mean, I've been a fan of his almost my entire life.
I saw you did good, Robbie. Thank you.
Well, he covered most of it.
Because I'm going to talk about him about the same thing with all Red Sonja stuff. But I talked to him last year, so this will be my second time talking to him.
I did one creator interview, and it was supposed to be like 15 minutes. And at the 45-minute mark, David Avalone and I decided to stop talking about
unusual
Lancelot Link's secret chimp. Because we had gone far, far off course of our conversation, which was like Elvira.
That seems so odd and unlike you, John. I don't know what happened.
Well, it was funny because he even said, "Oh, do you want to do this again sometime?" I'm like, I am awful at this. I absolutely should never ever do this again. I love you guys, but you've got to get someone that can actually, focus.
So I want to address the vegan thing, okay? Because a lot of comments about that, right?
Oh no.
So here's the thing.
I wasn't trying to derail the show. It was just a bit, man. I like vegans.
Too late. A day late, $1 short, Robbie.
Oh no.
You know what? Check the PCP store coming this week. We're just going to be the I Hate Vegan shirt or something.
Vegans with a circle and a slash. Or better yet, we get Robbie photoshopped into the scene on Soylent Green where he's being taken away at the end. And Robbie's going, Soylent Green is vegans. As they're like taking him away.
So my parents are vegetarians, believe it or not. Okay. So my dad was never a big meat eater, but decided for his health and so on and so forth, he decided to go vegetarian. Now, he eats eggs, they eat cheese, that type of thing. Okay, so they are not vegan. But I got to admit.
So is that vegetarian?
Mm-hmm.
They'll be vegetarian if they eat dairy?
Yeah, you can eat dairy, you can eat eggs.
Lacto-ovo vegetarian. I was one for like 5 years.
Let me go. Let me know if you guys need anything.
Thank you, Amy.
So,
but seriously, watching these interviews, because even I learned stuff from there.
Right.
And you know me, I'm creeping in creators' DMs all the time.
Yeah, we know that. So it's my dad did it for health reasons, more or less. Okay, my stepmom is, God bless her. I don't want to say she's a pain in the ass, but she can be. Sometimes, I mean, it is for her health as well because she's getting older. But sometimes it felt like it was like, I don't know, a fashion statement. Like when my cousin got married, and she had to make this big production at the rehearsal lunch, about that her and my dad are vegans, and do they have, or not vegans, vegetarians? Do they have vegetarian dishes, and the whole 9 yards. And we're in Sonoma Valley, California. If anybody had vegetarian dishes, it would be restaurants in that area, right? So, but it's fine. My problem with vegans is, number one, okay, as my dad pointed out, he couldn't be vegan because you're not getting everything you need by eating that way. Okay, you have to take too many supplements, but a vegetarian diet, you can avoid meat, okay, and still get like eggs and cheese, things with protein that you need, and vegans, they have to take supplements and vitamins and all this stuff every day. So what that says to me is that basically we're not meant to be vegans, right? If in prehistoric times, if you ate a vegan diet, you would die. It's simple as that. Now we have the science to make supplements and vitamins and things of that nature, but it's very hard to do it within nature. So and then vegans tend to be very militant, I guess. It's all tied to killing animals for food and all that stuff. So they want everyone else to be vegan. I don't mind what people believe, but don't impose your belief on me. You know what I'm saying?
I believe you haven't given these people a comic book to buy yet, so somebody else will be doing this show next week.
Dynamite 10 pack. Okay. That's 10 of them. Okay. And you two clowns keep distracting me. Yeah. Act all innocent. All right.
Robbie and I are here just to support your efforts.
So that was my 2 cents. All right. Yes, CJ, that's the point, I guess.
You're one step away from the people that think there's a United Nations conspiracy to get us to eat bugs.
So
there is, John. You don't believe that? There 100% is. I watched a YouTube video about it.
TJ, I can sympathize with that. So my cousin, her son, when he was a baby, he could not stand the smell of cooking meat. I mean, he was too young to understand the concept. Okay. And so they had to work around it with different kind of diets and beans and things of that nature. He won't eat meat because he finds it, not because he's trying to be vegan or anything like that. He just could not, as a baby, before he could even really talk, it just turned him off. He couldn't stand the smell of it. My cousin would be cooking bacon at home. The kid would cry. So, there are people where it just doesn't work for whatever reason.
I would try to get my mother cook me bacon because she was slow cook.
Yes, we know your dad was the one. For certain people, Alberto, I have to admit.
I think I was like 9 the first time I said to my dad, Mom made me lunch. And my dad's response was, I'm sorry, kid.
Ouch. So, Jay, we're gonna blow past the 4 or 5 and go to the top of the hour for the next break. All right, bud? All right, so.
Wait a minute, who's running this show?
Well, mostly
Jay, pull
Jay.
the plug. It's Heel J time.
DF Mystery Box. 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 Sign, 1 Exclusive, and 10 back issues. $200 retail value guaranteed, and as always, we got it for $85. Yes, Ryan, best deal we've ever had.
Right now, Jay is working on a Photoshop with like JW stuff.
I love the smell of cooking bacon.
Man.
It's amazing. All right, so here are the new sketch covers. We will do No Graded Mannix. Aquaman #1 with Aquaman cover sketch by Carl C.K. Kent. Suggested retail of $149.99. And of course, we have it for $65. And I will do 2 or more for $60 a piece.
I like the perspective with the trident in this picture.
Right? I like it.
This is very cool.
I really do like his work. Then we have New Avengers #1 with Captain America cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99. And we have this one for $65. It's like the World War II cap, right? Kind of.
I think this is probably more like Ultimate Captain America.
Maybe.
No wings, the boots. I think there's not a whole lot of difference between World War II cap in the MCU and Ultimate Captain America.
Yeah, they're very close. I mean, they kind of based the MCU stuff off of the Ultimates book.
Ultimate stuff. I actually prefer this. I know Captain America fans think that's hideous. I don't like I've never liked the wings on his head. I just think they're goofy. When they used to give when the heroes would give each other forced nicknames like Webhead and Shellhead and Winghead. Even as a kid, that made me like, I don't want to. When I reread the stuff now from Marvel Masterworks, I'm like turning the page past that stuff.
When I was very young, for some reason, I thought it was his hair, like tufts of hair sticking out, and it was gray hair or something. I don't.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you have no idea. So
probably the best. My favorite version of Captain America is the one you see at the beginning of the Ultimates, where his helmet is actually a helmet that's sort of been modified with like a chin strap and eye protection.
That's great, dude. That first issue where it's all like you're talking about the Mark Miller, Brian Hitch one, right?
Where it's all
the whole issue is World War II, and the whole thing is like he just jumped out without a parachute. Captain America don't need no parachute. They did that exactly in the movie, didn't they?
Yeah, it's the same thing where that's just a funny line. Did he just jump there with a parachute? Frank Grillo's response: Yes, he did.
Do you think this A stands for France?
That, you know what? That is one of these things. That's like a line in comics that's at least 25 years old now, and everybody remembers it.
All right.
I think this A on my head stands for France.
So a new take by Jessica Court. All right. And Spider-Man #1 with Mary Jane cover sketch by Jessica Court.
That's very cool.
It is. The detail is amazing.
I know. Mary Jane fans, your time has come. This almost looks airbrushed.
Yeah, this looks great.
Suggested retail $149.99, and we have this one for $65.
Surely this will be the first thing to pop off and sell tonight because this is too awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, if people, we should stop the show if nobody wants this because they're not going to want any of the other stuff.
So, Preston, we are doing #EXP Monday, all lowercase, for the giveaway tonight, as always, bud. All right, then we have Union Jack the Ripper #1 with Spitfire cover sketch by Tony Scott. Suggested retail of $149.99, and we have this one for 65.
This feels like one of those cover sketches that really only John could appreciate, because most other people are going to be like, "Who's Spitfire?"
I was going to say, this is kind of for those, like, you know, Frank Robbins, Invaders, 1970s, early 80s type stuff. Spitfire has sort of shown up over and over again. Her prime was in the Invaders. Just a great idea, great character. It's one of those things that makes no sense in comics. Like, android blood gives her super speed. Like, what? But that was the story, and they went with it, and it worked.
All right, then we have My Adventures with Superman #1 with Smallville Clark, cover sketch by Tracy Medina.
Nice.
Suggested retail of $149.99, and we have this one for $65.
If you haven't watched Smallville, this is like straight from the series.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched Smallville, don't.
Suck it, Robbie.
Oh man, his screen is going to go blank because that's like a Superman thing. You can't say that when Jay's in the control.
That was
room.
specifically for Jay.
What are you thinking?
All right, then we have Cult of the Lambs #1, cover sketch by Ken Hazer.
Yo, I have no idea what a Cult of the Lamb is, but this looks awesome.
I was going to say, you know what this is? This looks like a book Robbie would recommend to me. Like Robbie would say on the show, this week we really liked, you know, and I'd be like, oh, if Robbie thought it was good, I'll get it. So when Robbie said, I don't know what Cult of the Lamb is, I'm like, I guess it'll be a while.
It's based on like a video game or something. And typically if I find out a book's based on a video game, I'm like, well, I'll just skip that one.
Yeah, and the thing is too, I really wanted to like stuff like Mortal Kombat, but
So what was I can't remember the name.
Alberto, that's nice. Talking about meat, Cult of the Lamb. Very cool, man.
Good point.
Good.
What is that video game that they ended up making a series out of on one of the streaming channels, but it only ran one season. I don't know if they're bringing it back. We made a card
Fallout?
set for it. No.
I was just saying, Fallout's coming back.
Oh yeah, was it Fallout?
Yeah, Amazon Prime is very clear about that's coming back.
It is coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fallout was like both a commercial success and a critical success.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the series.
Not to mention, on my wish list, I have like a Pip-Boy. There's like a whole kit you can buy. It actually works. It's a couple $100, but you know, if this wife doesn't buy me, hopefully the next wife will love me to buy it and love me enough to buy it.
All right, now we have Justice League of America #1 with Our Man cover sketch by Tracy Medina.
There we go.
This is a John Cole request.
It is not easy to make Our Man look that good. That's about as good as that character is going to look. She did an exceptional job.
Suggested retail of $149.99. We have this one for $65. And then we have Suicide Squad #1 with Failsafe Batman cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $149.99.
Somebody said we're not on Facebook today. Did we get kicked off Facebook?
Nick, hey Jay, can you answer Nick's question?
Yeah, Facebook's run by a bunch of vegans. So.
Oh no!
Well, it's checked back here. Let me actually get on Facebook and look.
All right. So Nick, the predominantly you probably can't see the chat because most people are logged in through YouTube or watch the show through YouTube.
I had followers that watched the show on Twitter, and they just sat here and watched the show, and the only thing they heard was you and I talking and Robbie because they didn't get to chat or anything.
Picking its Facebook or YouTube, but I think you'll enjoy the show more on YouTube because you can engage with the group and the chat and everything else. So Jay's gonna check.
I tell people that all the time. I don't have a preference. Like, watch the show, don't watch the show. I don't care where you watch it. The show experience is better on YouTube.
It's because you're with the group and you can see their comments. You can make comments. They can see yours.
It's the full experience.
Well, you can enter the giveaways. If for no other reason, people, like I have friends that still sometimes look at the show on Twitter, and I'm like, you're never going to win a giveaway, like ever.
It's called X now, John. Come on. It's been X for a while now.
YouTube does not allow me to comment during that.
That's weird.
Boy, that's weird.
That should
Went
be
too
right.
hard on vegans one day, didn't you, Nick? That happened to
I
me.
was gonna say, you know what? He tried to pull off the Robbie move, and they weren't having it.
Just tell them it's the year of the heel. They automatically have to rescind the ban.
I wasn't going to pay the money for it, but apparently there's a thing I can buy in the App Store that will make the little X logo on my iPhone the bird again. And I will say this much. They've sold like 40,000 of these. So at least 40,000 people do not call that app X.
All right. So now we got a ton of back issues. All right. So all the different price ranges. So some as low as $5. And the highest one I think I have on here is maybe 25. Yeah.
Highest price one should have been 69. Ho!
Nice.
I'm getting ready for the Anti-Dice Clay show. I'm sorry.
Robbie Dice Clay. So on Facebook, for some reason, it's not displaying on the page. But if you look at the little icon, the little circle, it says live. You can click on that and it starts playing the video. So I don't know what's going on with that.
That's weird. That is weird. So
I think you should probably.
why wouldn't it let Nick comment on YouTube? That's weird too.
I don't know, but if you scroll back, somebody made a very cool Simpsons reference. I was trying to see if I could find who it was. They should probably be sent something because that was a very slick reference. Scroll back a little bit, and somebody did.
Well, I can't do. Oh,
I was going to say somebody read one of my weird, obscure line. I just happen to remember it from The Simpsons. It'll be a cold day in hell before I recognize the
I just want to say thank you to everybody who hit the thumbs up and is helping us. That's a really cool hour, man.
it was a John Cole request.
I like the Spitfire best though.
The Spitfire,
Yeah,
Robbie
Tony
said too.
Scott. I like him.
It's just something unique about it, you know?
Well, her whole story, the whole, everything about that character is kind of neat. She shows up every now and then.
Yeah.
It was Barlord that made the comment.
That was.
Thank you, Jay.
That was a very nice drop in, man.
What was the comment? Hey, Nick?
I still call it Twitter instead of X. And Barlord
it's gonna be pizza tonight, Alberto. Too much work, not enough time.
It's all started because Robbie is hating on vegans.
He's behind the door, so can we talk snakes? Yeah, Nick is having pizza tonight. Go look through Nick's Instagram and Facebook. There's not a whole lot of pizza on that list.
Yeah, right. Lorena.
I'll tell you what, when all the dust is settled on all the dynamite diamond stuff, Nick deserves himself the biggest steak out there, like a great outdoor steak. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you, when this gets resolved, Nick should go up to Peter Luger and do like the whole 9 yards, the steak, the bacon, the whole.
All right, so we're going to take the second break now because we blew past the 4 or 5 one. All right, so Jay, take us a break, hang out. We'll be right back, and we'll start the back issues.
Maybe Jay isn't ready to take us to break. He was ready at 6:45.
Jay's always ready, unlike you two. Or maybe.
Order Battle Quest comics at your local comic shop today. Boring old Tuesday. Kick it!
Anyway, let's get to it.
Henri Copen scours collections and comic shops to bring you the biggest deals on beautiful comics.
I'm very eager to sell these books.
Plus, he smashes those other boring sales shows. Henri's got fire, excitement, personality, key books, Momo books,
60 Momo books for you.
a cute dog, weird accents,
69, bro.
a wheel of skid bark.
They do wheel spins at the end of every show.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll score huge bargains.
That is Hakutua magic right there, all right?
Kicking it with Henri, Tuesday nights, part of the experience.
What do you call the place on Spider-Man's wrists where the webs come out? His website. I hate myself for writing that joke, but you'd make me feel so much better if you just visited our website. We have links to our merch, new release lists, all the show info, and so much more. TheEXPLive.com.
Hey, so Alberto, the one thing we do on this show is make people hungry. I'm hungry too. And I still have to figure out what to do for dinner when I get home. All right, so let's move on to the back issues. First up, we have Superior Iron Man #1 is a 9.2, and I got it.
Hey, Rex, yeah, I was about to ask, did we skip this one?
He said it. You just never switched. You never hit the right button, Jay.
Really?
Wow.
Though, yeah.
No, Robbie's really on it.
I'm saying.
So anyway,
go back to
this
watch
one-
the footage.
It's just at retail $149.99, and we've got it for $65. This one is really cool. No, it weird. I will not.
Yeah, the only thing worse than a ham and pineapple pizza is a vegan.
Oh my god!
You know,
No.
maybe with all the talking that was going on, I just might have not have heard you, Rex. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good, bud.
It's all right.
I'm not
Jay. We
heel. I'm not
understand, man.
heel, Robbie. I forgive you.
Yeah, and we
All right.
honestly understand, man. You're sitting there like, oh my god, they're rambling again. Let's just.
So
Right,
you
just
want to
take
know
it
what's
back.
interesting? I never thought of it this way, but I really like it, and it seems to be local. John will be able to help us out here. It seems to be local to this area.
What?
There is a pizza that would technically be vegan, tomato pie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically tomato pie, it is bread, it is sauce, and the cheese. Because some places grate cheese on top of it, like
Some
dried
places
cheese.
do, but some don't.
Some don't. Some it's just herbs. Usually it's
Yeah.
sometimes it's like a little dried basil.
Yeah.
There's a place that does dried rosemary down in Audubon, I think.
I
but
love tomato pie personally.
I'm sure any place you could get a tomato pie, Kaja's, they all go out without. If you buy a Kaja's tomato pie, the little cheese is often a packet in the side. I know people who don't eat cheese love that, lactose intolerant or whatever it is.
Cheese is
I
not
don't-
meat, Marcus, but vegans don't eat cheese because it's an animal product.
It's an animal product. I was gonna say, like, they don't eat eggs or whatever because, like,
Yes.
if it even comes from the animal, or if an animal walked past it, they don't want to eat it. They don't.
So, but I'm telling you, if you come to this area, try a tomato pie. It's one of those things that you can. Is that true? It's only unique to this area, right?
I have not seen tomato pies any of the other places I've traveled where I consider pizza to be part of the culture.
Right.
Boston, Chicago,
Detroit.
Detroit. I have seen they all have their own pizzas, and then of course they all kind of have the round pizza because you kind of have to have that like entry level pizza or whatever.
Right. Entry level.
Even up into Connecticut, where they kind of have their own sort of dough, their own sort of hydration rate.
What's this thing I saw, John? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I saw this thing recently. It's been popping up in my feed. In Pittsburgh, do they make like pizzas and put the cold toppings on afterwards?
There are pockets of Pennsylvania where I seriously would like instead of them cracking down on other stuff, I would like if there were like culinary commandos that jumped into towns, shut down shops, and grabbed food felons. Because there is no reality where pizza should be essentially uncooked cheese, like a fistful, just kind of thrown on top. It's as bad as, I think it's northeastern Pennsylvania, where it's Kraft singles.
Yes.
That's not even really cheese.
Which we determine is not actual cheese.
You know what? No, I'm sorry. There's
it's cheese food.
There's some amazing food in the Pittsburgh area. There really is. That is not one of them. Everybody has a different name for this, and it's sort of, oh, you can eat it at room temperature. I'm like, well, yeah, sure, because you're not going to need the heat to melt the cheese.
You can eat any pizza at room temperature. Sometimes cold pizza is even better, in my opinion.
I was going to say cold pizza is better than hot other food. Let's be clear.
Also, I'm clearly not against vegans. I had a vegan lunch. I had a banana and an orange. Now, of course, right before that, I had some ribs. Hey, you know what I'm saying, man?
He's really working.
I'm almost a vegetarian. I had banana ketchup on my cheese.
So, Preston, I have no idea what a raisin pie is. So I can't answer that question. Do you know what a raisin pie is?
Raisin pie, no. That might be something possibly from the South. Like different cultures have like things you're not, like people think Mississippi mud pie. That's actually a thing.
Mississippi mud pie is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Amish shoe fly pie.
Do they have those raisin cream pies or whatever? That's the only thing I've ever heard of.
I will say this. This is my one anti-vegan thing. I am totally against if you are a parent and you force your infant or toddler to go vegan. You're messing your kid up. That is child abuse right there.
You know what?
In my opinion.
I heard the two worst things that you do with children are the vegan thing and forcing them to play softball.
Read between the lines, Mr. Cole. Read between the lines.
Robbie's doing
Yeah.
John, you're welcome to join us over at the Hillside, man. We have cookies. We've got bacon. We've got ribs.
We're going to get Robbie a shirt that's like the Tribal Chief shirt. With a
OTC.
Other shows must be the twos because,
Big John, what's up, man? All right. So
here
we go.
Can't wait to catch some Ford Fairlane, John.
Castle's already gearing up for that show.
He's ready. You already got Robbie warming up the whole show, doing his little Andrew Dice Clay bits.
I want Robbie to be wearing the belt and the jacket when 8 o'clock rolls around.
Oh, I wish.
I'll be at the parking lot.
And it would be a leather jacket from cow skin. It would be made out of cow skin, okay?
All right. So first up, we have Superior Iron Man. It's 9.2. And we have this for $5. So Big John got some Werewolf by Night and some other stuff. So hang out, bud. All right, next up we got
vegan leather is like pleather or naugahyde or something. There's a designer in Philadelphia that has like a vegan leatherware shop, and it's all sort of like upholstery from like
pleather,
like Gran Torinos from the 70s or whatever. But it's none of it's actual leather, so people love it.
Yeah, there's the sister shop in Pittsburgh will just throw cold cheese on top of it for you too.
That's just not good eats. That's just it's the same people that used to tell me that I couldn't put seafood and cheese together years ago when I was first starting out are the same people over at Red Lobster doubling and tripling down on the mac and cheese with lobster piled on top of it. So,
if we're all meant to be vegan, why did God write the Bible in leather?
Oh, no. I just had sound to hear vegans clicking off the show, unsubscribing from PCP. No,
I don't think we have any.
I hate him.
All right.
Or writing Robbie letters.
Yeah.
Robbie
I
letters.
can't wait. I should have checked to see if I got another letter this morning after last night, but
Robbie's going to open that show with PETA stands for people eating tasty animals. Oh,
yo.
watch the viewer count just plummet.
All right. So next up, we got Uncanny X-Men number 245. It is a newsstand edition. It's a 7.0, and I have this for $5.
Rob Liefeld. Love it.
Then we have Teen Titans number 48. It's a 3.0. And I have this for $5. I can't go any cheaper than this, guys.
This is like a great blast from the past book, man. Dula Dent on the cover. I didn't know Dula Dent made a cover of like a,
Well, apparently she did.
Apparently she did.
All right. Then we've got Howard the Duck number 2. It's 6.0.
Trapped
and
in
I
a
have
world
this
you
for
never made.
$5.
You see what happens if you live your life as a vegan? You become the deadly space turnip.
Right. You guys eating salad, you're eating Groot. That is wrong.
I'm really going to ride this vegan thing for the next few weeks. I'm going to really irate one.
Yeah,
There's one irate fan's going to hate me, and I love it.
And Preston, that's a good point. I'm kind of familiar with like the 12-cent era DC covers. I don't ever remember seeing her on a cover of anything. That might be like that might be her like 15 minutes of fame right there.
All right. Then we have Watchmen number 5 of 12 in miniseries. It's a 9.0.
Marcus, nice drop in. Very timely. We're just like a week away from the sequel to a movie that is awful, and I have watched it. I probably lost track how many times I've watched
Megan?
it. Megan. And apparently Megan is back, and it looks like Megan will be doing a little bit of a face turn because she'll be fighting like an even more evil killer doll pop star thing.
About this book real quick, Watchmen issue number 5, my favorite issue of Watchmen. And this is the Fearful Symmetry issue where the panels like are mirrored to each other. If like the first page has the same panel structure as the last page, but flipped, and it goes on and on until it meets in the middle. It's super cool. Very clever stuff.
Those of you kids reading these books on your iPad with guided view turned on, you're not going to have any idea what Robbie's talking about.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
The page composition and design and layout is very, very important.
All right. Then we have Marvel 2-in-1 number 3. It's a 5.5. And we have this for $10.
Okay, Boomer, nice, Jay. See? He's teasing that heel. He's teasing that.
Alberto. Yeah. Well, no, he just really likes that issue of Watchmen, I think.
I do like that one issue of Watchmen.
You like so much
See? Told you. All right. Then we have Giant Size Master of Kung Fu number 2. It's a 5.0. Yeah. And I have this for $10.
This is one of those series I've always wanted to go in and just dive into. I've never gotten the chance really reading some of the 70s Master of Kung Fu stuff. I really want to check this stuff out.
I'll tell you, maybe more than any other comic Marvel did. Mm-hmm. They managed to bring the Curtis Black and White magazine Deadly Hands of Kung Fu energy into the Master of Kung Fu comic. Generally speaking, you did not get the same, like Rampaging Hulk and Incredible Hulk, two very different things. They just are. And if there's a few other books like that where the Star-Lord that was created in the Marvel Premiere Black and White book, not Chris Pratt, even a little bit.
Right?
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is, me and you, John, we know a lot of comic book creators, right? We chat with them, we talk to them. This run is one of the most mentioned runs when I talk to creators about like what influenced them to become a comic book creator. They always talk about Master Kung Fu, Paul Gulacy, all that stuff. Like this is a very much loved run of comics.
And Paul Gulacy is an artist that when you kind of kick around, people do these lists. best of this, best of that, top whatever, blah, 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 whatever. His name does not come up nearly as often as it should. And I would challenge anyone, just go look at the body of work. Don't take my word for it. Just go grab some of the stuff, look at the pages, the layouts, the composition, stuff like that. And then come back and we'll talk.
All right, next up, we got Black Panther number 18. It is a 7.0, and we have this for 20.
A guy who's a big part of the success of this era of Black Panther is Don McPherson, and I think he just celebrated like his 80th or 88th birthday.
Wow.
And he was a guy that sort of, I love Jack Kirby. I don't make any, hide that I love Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby had a little, I don't even want to call it distractibility. Jack did his thing, and when he was done, he was done.
Are you talking about Don McGregor?
Don McGregor. I'm sorry. What's
Don McPherson's a quarterback, right?
My bad. I'm sorry. We're getting close to the season. My bad, though. But Don jumps in here and sort of, I don't want to say necessarily infuses the book with...
You're actually right, Big John. Sorry about that.
With Phantom Life, but he really is responsible for a lot of what you saw in the early development of not just the character of the Black Panther, but Wakanda.
Right.
And again, he's one of these writers that, he doesn't have a massive body of work like, someone like Todd McFarlane that's done 10,000 books or whatever. But the contribution there is very kind of similar to what you see in Lee Falk's The Phantom.
Right. All right. So next we got Werewolf by Night, number 7. It's an 8.0, and we have that for 25.
You just send this to Castle? Or you need to read it. Maybe he has one.
He probably already has it, man.
Yeah.
How close are you from a complete Werewolf by Night run, homie? You got to be getting
He's got to be close, right?
You would think so.
Once you start working at a comic book store, you fill the gaps real fast.
Yeah, obviously.
You know what I mean? Even if you put in like a day a week.
He has 7.
That day you're there.
All right. He has number 7, I assume is what he means.
He might have 7 copies of this.
Yeah. You could take it either way. All right.
At one point, I had at least 7 or 8 copies of Airboy number 5. Because it's a Dave Stevens cover.
Right. All right. Next up, we got Strange Tales, number 155. It's 5.0. And we have this one for 20.
I love to find these books, like Strange Tales and some of these other things, before the superhero thing comes back, like 60, 61, 62. When you find the stuff right before that, it's very, very cool. And that's something, again, and I'm certainly not pitching this subscription service, but when you get Marvel Unlimited, you can sort of find some of this stuff.
Right.
And it's really cool to read. And of course, for most the average fan, they're not going to be dropping, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on these obscure, pre-Silver Age books. But it's kind of neat to read the stories.
All right. Next up, we got Predator versus Spider-Man number 1. Is the design variant. And I've got this for $5.
John, remember when I told you that Predator versus Black Panther was good? And then you read it and you're like, you're right. It was really, really good.
It really was.
This one's even better. This is the best out of all the Predator versus Marvel books they've done. Predator versus Spider-Man is sick. It is so awesome. And I'm surprised that it doesn't have a mature reader stamp on it due to Marvel sensibilities. It's really good.
Is it Predator and Miles Morales or?
No, it's Peter Parker.
Okay.
It's Peter Parker, and there's like the Predator there's like a blackout in New York City during a heat wave, and the Predator is in the subway hunting humans, and Mary Jane's there, and Peter's got to go save her. It's really good, and it also cements that all of these books, Predator versus Wolverine, Predator versus Black Panther, and this one are all part of a shared continuity that are leading into Predator versus the Marvel Universe or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Aliens and Avengers was good.
And yeah, Craven shows up too, TJ. So it's like you got Craven thrown in there as well. It's really good. It is really
I would have read
good.
a Predator Craven book, to be honest with you.
And this Predator likes to skin people's faces off and wear the faces, like he's Leatherface or something.
Well, they've really kind of developed this. You've got the new Hulu movie out, and this is going to sort of lead into there's a new Hulu Predator movie out, and then I guess very shortly, pretty soon, we're going to get Alien Earth. I guess if you're still a cable person, it's on FX. For me, everything is just on Hulu because I don't look at the individual channels anymore, really. But are we getting Predator Kills the Marvel Universe?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it all leads up into Predator Kills the Marvel Universe, and all the Predators from these previous series are in there together because this is a different one than the one that was in the Black Panther one, right? It's a different Predator in each one, but they all are going to come together into this one final big book.
The Predator and Black Panther had a very cool secondary storyline about vibranium. And I just thought that was, obviously, people are watching it to see Black Panther and Predator, but there was, I don't even necessarily want to call it a secondary storyline. I'll call it like page 2 of the main storyline. Just a really cool thing about vibranium. And I thought to myself, sometimes, as good as it is to have all the world's vibranium, some days it's not the best. It's not when it doesn't work out for you.
All right. Next up, we got Vision and Scarlet Witch number 2. It is a newsstand.
John, you know what? That's something that I could see them doing in the future. Predator versus Punisher.
Yes, so could I.
That would be cool. But John, you should just be thankful they're bringing back the Punisher to begin with. So that's cool.
Right?
Predator I'm happy. I'm finally happy. I'm happy.
So it is a 7.0, and I have this one for $10.
I remember when these limited series came out back in the day, it was like a big deal.
It was.
You
All right, so now I have number 1 as well. Vision and Scarlet Witch, number 1. It's a 4.5. First appearance of Sam Hain. And I have this one for $5. It is a 4.5. All right, then I have the Astounding Wolfman, number 1. Pre-Comic Book Day. First appearance of Astounding Wolfman. It's 9.0, and I have this one for $20.
It's hard to find some of these old Free Comic Book Day issues sometimes, so it's nice that you guys
This is best. I'll tell you right now, if you have not read Wolfman from Image, do yourself a favor and find the collections, find whatever. This is probably was like a super cool take on the werewolf thing. I remember when this came out, I was very much in a period of I've seen everything, right? Every old fan gets through this, and then you come back around to really dialing into the newer stuff, usually with the help of younger fans. But when this came out, I'm like, I've seen every Wolfman, plus not quite at Castle's level. I'm a big Werewolf by Night fan. So when I saw them going to do Wolfman, my initial reaction was, but then I thought to myself, well, the guy did Invincible, so let's give him a shot. And
I've heard rumors. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I've heard rumors that this character might be showing up in future issues of Battle Beast, which is a super overbook right now. So,
all right. So next up, we got Superman number 712.
I think we got a peek of Wolfman and Invincible last season. You see him in the background a little bit, when they're sort of dealing with
the Invincible.
What's that?
I was asking John if he was talking about when they were doing the Invincible War.
Yeah. Yes, that was, and you see some of these characters just a little bit in the periphery or whatever. But I was just when I saw Wolfman, I was like, it's the only thing I have the tiniest pet peeve with the Invincible the cartoon. And I can sum it up in 2 words, and it's Seance Dog. That character was originally Science Dog, and I love Science Dog. I'll have to show you a picture. One of the first times I had a sandwich on a menu at a place was a hot dog grilled cheese sandwich that was called the Science Dog for Wizard World 2016 or 17 at a place in Reading Terminal Market. And the funny thing was, they were so into it They didn't even care. They had a local artist just basically do like a sketch of Science Dog. I got to keep the sign. And people just thought it was super cool. And they told people, well, yeah, he's like a local food guy and he's a big comic book fan. So we have no idea who Science Dog is.
Corey, I will bring metal covers on Wednesday. How about that? I decided today to mix it up a little bit. I have one metal card, Red Sonja by Lucho Perillo, and we'll get to that in a minute. All right, so next up we got Weird War, the Creature Commandos number 108.
Check that out.
It's an 8.0, and we have this for 15.
Jay, I'm going to send you a picture real quick.
Then we have Submariner number 13. First appearance of Gargantos. It's a 4.5, and I have this for 15. Alberto. Then we have Uncanny X-Men number 282. It's 6.5, and we have this one for 5. Then I have a couple of ratios. You know what? At this point, nobody's bought anything, so I may just start flashing up some medals and whatever ratios we have left.
You want to just grab something in Nick's office? It's on a wall.
Yeah, no, not
with
really.
an alarm?
No,
I'm just kidding.
I'm surprised nobody's picked up that Jessica Court.
And weird
Mary
is
Jane
what,
cover.
I'm very surprised. That Mary Jane cover.
The Submariner was 15. I had the wrong price on there.
Correct. Submariner is 15, Edward, if you want it. Werewolf by Night number 13. First appearance of Topaz Taboo. It's 6.0.
Topaz. Oh man.
And we have this for
I might
20.
need to rewatch this.
Yeah.
Read this.
Alberto. All right.
No flashes anything, Rex.
That is true. It is a family show.
This is
All
a
right.
family show. Nice, CJ.
Filled with a bunch of middle-aged men. And
I
women.
think you're being generous calling us middle-aged, man.
Well, some of us
Like
are
the
a little
Reaper's
bit
waiting.
past the middle.
The Reaper is waiting in the parking lot for us.
Oh. He was talking about the Creature Commandos. On my sheet, I have 20.
Is 20. That is
Okay.
correct. All right. So let me know. Who asked? Ed Weird. All right. Then we have Fantastic Four number 43. And I have this one for $2.
Isn't that cover price?
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe the lower.
Might be
cover
lower.
That's
price.
like half of cover price, probably, right there.
And I really can't get cheaper than that. All right, then we have Giant Size, Little Marvel A versus X, number 4.
I love these.
And I have this for $5.
I really don't think I'm the market that they're creating these for, but I love this
I
stuff.
hope not.
Especially at Marvel Unlimited. If it's Marvel Meow, it's like the dog books and the Ape Avengers. If you turn animals into superhero characters, I'm there.
All right, then we have Peanuts, number 3, published by Kaboom.
Nice.
Is a 9.2, and I have that for 10.
That's a great, simple, clean cover.
Yeah,
That is-
it is. All right. Then we have Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, number 1. It is a newsstand, 7.0, and I have this for 5.
Station pick of the night. Come on, y'all.
Nice. Kind of hard not to be. I knew somebody was going to make the line that says Wood line. I wasn't sure who it was. I was almost going to say the first person that makes the line gets a prize.
All right. Then we have Action Comics number 1, Facsimile. It is a Loot Crate version with COA polybag. I have this for $10, and it comes with a certificate of authenticity. I'm not sure why, but it does come with it. It is still polybag sealed. All
The
right.
certificate is to make sure everybody knows that this is not one from 1938. So do not bring it into your local comic shop thinking that you have $1 million on your hand. That happens to us at least 5 times a week, y'all.
Yeah, I gotta tell you. So there was probably the single most valuable baseball card in history is the Honus Wagner T206. Becky, are you claiming it or making a comment? I assume you're claiming it, so I'm going to pencil you in. So
that baseball card and that comic book, you know how they're connected? In the movie The Accountant, because when Ben Affleck's character has got to bug out, he grabs stuff that has value that he can sell. And he grabs that baseball card and he grabs his copy of Action Comics #1 in what looks like not just a slab, the way they do it in the movie, looks like a glass brick it's in.
Yeah, Marcus, I don't think so, but I know why. I know what you're talking about with the knob of the bat. So the company I worked for at the time sold it at auction. You got so many calls. I got so many calls from people, right? So they made a replica card of a reprint, and people would say, "Yes, the old F-face card." And people would ask if they had it, and it became standard response. We tell them, "Turn the card around." They would. Can you read what that card says? All right, and they would read the Honus Wagner card T206 was a tobacco card, blah blah blah. And the highest at that point when the card was printed, it ever sold at auction was $100,000. I let them keep reading. I go, well, that can't be an honest to goodness original T206 Honus Wagner, can it? Since on the back it says the highest one ever sold was $100,000 at auction. And people are like, oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. Just I'm just amazed at people's stupidity at times.
Yeah.
It's like you
I
didn't
had
read
somebody
the
call my shop one time. They said I have a Hulk comic from 1956, and I was like, well, I would really like to see that because I didn't think that there were any Hulk comics in 1956. And they brought in a Hulk Volume 2 number 56, and then I'm still waiting on a lady to show up with a Spider-Man comic from the 1800s. She has not shown up yet. It's been years, but I'm still waiting. So
I sure hope she's not hoping about she's talking about Marvel 1609 or whatever, is she?
She might be. Who knows?
Spidey in the Old West or something? Because no, that doesn't.
No, this is right. This is right. All right, so we're gonna take our last and final break. I'll get through the rest of the back issues, and who knows? Maybe I'll just pull some metal books and ratios for our buddy. I do have 2 ratios from last week, Robert. So I'll get to those in a second. All right, so hang out. We'll be right back.
The limit is the sky with no glass ceiling. But if the shoe fits, feel free to walk up in it. You can catch me in the sky with no flight attendants, or either in the coupe, but the roof is not attended. I don't look back, I don't look back, I don't look back, I don't look back. I just go forward, I just go forward, I just go forward, I just go forward. I don't hear that, I don't hear that, I don't hear that, I don't hear that. I just ignore it, I just ignore it, I just ignore it, I just ignore it. Rap hitting, I button up Benjamin. I'm not like them, my cloth was cut different. For those that are listening, please know that I never backpedal, nah, never that. I don't look back, I don't look back, I don't look back, I don't look back. I just go forward, I just go forward, I just go forward, I just go forward. I don't hear that, I don't hear that, I don't hear that, I don't hear that. I just ignore it, I just ignore it, I just ignore it, I just ignore it. I don't look back, I don't look back, I don't look back, I don't look back.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into The Experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into The Experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below. Twitch, it's not just what happens when you have too many energy drinks anymore. Check out our content over there too.
All right, we're back. All right, so to finish up with the back issues, here we go. Paper Girls #1 is 9.0, and I have that for $10. Then Metal Shark Bro #1 is a 9.6 to a 9.8, and we have that for $20. All right, then Amazing Adventures Beast #17 is a 7.0. We have this for $25.
I love this cover. I love the intensity and the coloring and the lighting on Beast. That's really cool.
All right. So then we have Venom #25, a 1:50 ratio by Gerardo Zaffino. It's 9.4. And we have this one for $40.
Beautiful cover. Love this.
Then we have Spider-Man and Wolverine #1, 1:25 ratio by David Marquez. It's a 9.4 to a 9.6, and we have this one for $15. EXP Eddie sucks. Who's the EXP Eddie? It weird? All right. So then we have Incredible Hulk #25, a 1:25 ratio by Paulo Segura. It's 9.6, and we got this one for $10. And then we've got Justice League Unlimited #7, 1:25 ratio by Travis Moore. It's 9.6 to a 9.8.
My metal detector went off.
All right. I don't even know what half the books are, the numbers or anything else, and we're not going to open each one. So I'll just bring them in. I promise on Wednesday I'll fill the show with medals.
Heavy Metal Wednesday.
All right. The only medal we have, Red Sonja 50th anniversary trading card. It's the only one I got. It is a limited edition exclusive Lucho Perillo metal card. I'm assuming it was a box topper. It was.
That's what I was going to say. That kind of has the box topper in it.
Right. And I got this one for $25. All right. So it is
not
shiny.
a fan of redheads tonight. I'm surprised this isn't picked up, and I'm super shocked that Mary Jane isn't picked up.
Yeah, me too.
That is just
Mannix Metal Wednesday. Not sure if we had that many, but I will look, my friend.
Hey, Rex, before we get too far into this, I don't know if you saw Nick had a question.
What was the question? I did miss it. Nick, you should have gotten, as far as I know, it shipped out, buddy. So you should have gotten an automated email from our shipping computer. So if you didn't, I'm going to have to look, my friend. But as far as I know, it shipped out. But I will check for you. So, Nick, my direct email is rex.wang@dynamite.com. if you could shoot me an email with that question, because I don't want to forget when I get in the morning, because I will look for your first thing. But I remembered shipping, but we all know my memory is not always so dependable, depending. But I will take a look in the morning. If you don't mind, shoot me that email, buddy. rex.wang@dynamite.com. All right, so the giveaway. We do. We have a shipping computer, my friend.
Is that guy who sits next to?
Who?
Oh, you meant literally.
No, literally. We have one. All right, so the giveaway of the night is Incredible Hulk number 25, 125 ratio by Paul Segura. So I'm giving one away, and I have one for sale. And you guys tell me what you want. I brought all the back issues, so that wasn't really very hot tonight. I will bring the medals back. I'm trying to find more cosplay trading cards if I can.
Oh, I know where those are.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. All right. And I guess for our buddy Robert, I will dig through some old ratios and start to slash the price. And we'll try to make that work. How about that? Yeah, Marcus, I'm trying, but they're not easy to find here. Shipping computer's name is Jeff.
Trying to ask them all.
All right, so should we do a quick Rex cap, or what do you guys think?
I say do it.
All right, let's do it. All right,
Start with the Mary Jane book.
All right, Mike Asbo, you got it, buddy.
There we go.
Nice.
Wish I had more of those, but unfortunately, I do not.
I have more Vampirella covers in my
You got it, Preston. Okay.
I was going to say, do you want me to run out to my car and see what I have out there?
No, I can do that.
In my Dynamite console?
I can do that. More Vampy. Yeah, maybe I can. I'll find some Vampies to put on the air for you, bud. All right. So the giveaway of the night: Incredible Hulk number 25, 125 ratio by Paul Segura. Hashtag is hashtag EXP Monday, all lowercase. Then, of course, as always, we have the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher. And as always, we got it for $5. All right. Then we have the DF Mystery Box, 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 virgin, 1 sign, 1 exclusive, and 10 back issues. $200 retail value guaranteed, and we have it for $85. Aquaman number 1 with Aquaman cover sketch by Carl C.K. Kent. And we have this for $65. If you buy 2 or more sketch covers, I will do them for $60 a piece. Then we have New Avengers number 1 with Captain America cover sketch by Joe Del Bialo and Mariano Nicieza. And we have this for $65. Then
just leave that on Mariano's desk if it doesn't sell where I can find it.
Then we have Spider-Man number 1 with Mary Jane cover sketch by Jessica Court. And we have this one for $65.
This is some of her best work. This is very cool.
Then we have Union Jack, the Ripper, number 1 with Spitfire cover sketch by Tony Scott. And we have this one for $65. Then,
yeah, you have to do that on like Invaders Night.
All right. Then we have My Adventures with Superman number 1 with Smallville cover sketch by Trace Medina. And we have that for $65. Nice work by Tracy, but apparently, according to Heel Robbie, Smallville is not worth the watch.
You know what? I would never say this show is not worth the watch. Even something awful, like fundamentally awful, like Lois and Clark.
What's wrong with Lois and Clark, brother?
Oh no. No.
The only thing worse than Smallville is Star Trek Enterprise, y'all.
Oh, stop. Just stop right now, Heel Robbie.
Right. Enterprise is. I want them to take that off, like Paramount Plus.
Hey, with your bajillion channels and your AMC members card, go watch something else. You'll live. All right. So, Cult of the Lamb number 1 cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Got that for $65.
Son is calling in about his love for Smallville.
All right. Justice League of America #1 with Our Man cover sketch by Tracy Medina.
This is
A John Cole request, and he will not be able to request anything else if this does not sell.
Well, I can live with that because if this doesn't sell,
You're gonna take it.
it'll be on my wall by
All right.
night.
Suicide Squad #1 with Failsafe Batman cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Got that
Very
for
cool.
$65.
Love you too,
Then-
Eddie.
Then we have Superior Iron Man #1. It's 9.2. Had that for $5.
Truly was the superior Iron Man. I wish they would have just kept this version of the character with his white armor.
All right. Then Uncanny X-Men #245 newsstand is 7.0. We have that for $5.
You guys know that Rob Liefeld can't draw feet. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that?
That's why the cover is cropped at like mid-thigh.
Wow, Robbie, that Alabama slipped out a little bit there, huh?
Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? You know, if somebody doesn't like Rob Liefeld, you know how you know? It's like a vegan; they'll let you know. Oh,
right.
All right. Teen Titans #48. It's 3.0, and you have this for $5. Then Howard Duck #2. It's 6.0. We have that for $5. Watchmen #512. It's 9.0. We had that for $10.
This is Robbie's favorite issue of this series.
Then
It
Marvel 2-in-1 #3. It's a 5.5. And we have that for $10.
Barlord, could you imagine that? Art by Rob Liefeld, feet by someone else.
All right. Giant Size Master of Kung Fu #2. It's a 5.0. We had that for $10.
just saying, Rob Liefeld can draw feet. He just doesn't like to, so he doesn't very often.
You know what would be cool if you could find, I don't know if they have any, if there's any black and white magazines. Like as cool as Master of Kung Fu is, go look for Deadly Hands of Kung Fu.
Or the Dracula stuff, right? Man.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Then we have Jungle Action #18. It's 7.0. And we had that for $20.
There was a secret
Then-
joy in buying those black and white magazines because my mother in particular thought they were dirty. So it meant more to me to get those than something off the spinner rack.
She was like, but John, this doesn't have the Comics Code Authority approval on it.
She was like that. And I think I was like 11 and I looked at her in the store and I said, instead of worrying about my comic books, maybe you should be looking at cookbooks. The best part of that was she didn't speak to my father for a week. My dad came home like, what did I do? I have no idea. I'll be in my room this week with my dog.
Werewolf by Night #7. It's 8.0. We had that for $25. Strange Tales #155. It's 5.0. We have that for $20. Predator versus Spider-Man design variant. And we have that for $5. Vision and Scarlet Witch #2 newsstand.
Oh, that reminds me. I
Have
gotta add
that
that
for
to the,
10.
to the list.
It's 7.0. We have that for 10.
Leave myself a note. Thank you, Robbie.
Vision and the Scarlet Witch #1. It's a 4.5, and we had that for $5. The Astounding Wolfman #1, Free Comic Book Day, 9.0. We had that for $20. Superman #712. It's an 8.0, and we had that for $15.
Crypto's about to have his moment, man.
Yeah, he is. Weird War, The Creature Commandos #108. It's an 8.0.
I've seen that Alex Ross crypto picture like every 14th or 15th comment in all the comics fan groups. Like, oh, yes, we've seen it. We've seen it 8 times.
I think
today.
crypto is about to be the Grogu of 2025, y'all.
I would not be surprised.
All right. So now we have Submariner #13. It's 4.5. We had that for $15. Uncanny X-Men #282. It's 6.5. We had that for $5. Werewolf by Night #13. 6.0. We have that for $20. Fantastic Four #43. We had that for $2. I can't get no cheaper than that, people. Giant Size, a Little Marvel A vs. X #4. Have that for $5. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey #1 newsstand 7.0. Have that for $5. Action Comics #1 facsimile loot crate with COA. Polybagged sealed and have that for 10. Paper Girls #1. It is a 9.0 and got that for 10.
This was a show that Amazon Prime gave up on. This is a good comic. This is like a very good comic. And I think Amazon Prime gave up on the show too quickly. I also don't know if they kind of dialed into the show was not, show didn't have the same energy as the comic. And that probably has something to do with it. But
all right. So then we got Metal Shark Bro #1, 9.6, 9.8. And we have that for 20. Amazing Adventures Beast #17, 7.0. We have that for 25.
Is this another book that Castle collects? Amazing Adventures?
I don't know. Venom #25, 150 ratio by Gerardo Zaffino, 9.4. We had that for 40.
For sure, Eddie. I mean, overall, Amazon has kind of, I think, been a little bit better maybe than some of the subscription services with pulling plugs too quick. But I think Paper Girls is a miss. I think it's
so Spider-Man and Wolverine #1, 125 ratio by David Marquez.
Oh, you got
that
two of them.
15. Incredible Hulk #25, 125 ratio by Paulo Segura, 9.6. We have that for 10. Justice League Unlimited #7, 125 ratio by Travis Moore, and we have that for 10. There we go. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to get to the end of the list. All right. So we might as well do the giveaway drawing. There it is, Science Dog.
This was the original version of the Seance Dog character in Invincible. Science Dog was sort of they published a couple issues of Science Dog. If you're an Invincible fan,
what is beer washed cheese?
Beer washed cheese is exactly what it sounds like.
So just dunk it in cheese,
yeah,
or in beer.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
And it kind of gives it, especially if you use, like an IPA or something, you get like a nice sort of, after
Why does it say Foxblood on it, man? What's up with that?
Where does it say Foxblood?
Right next to cheese.
Oh, if I remember correctly, that was one of the lady who owned this stand. Her name was Rebecca Fox, and she owns like a couple other stores now in Philadelphia. But at the time, that was like one of her. If I remember correctly, that was like her special sauce. It was sort of like a mix of a hot sauce and some other stuff.
Okay, so it's not actually Foxblood, because I was going to be like, what about the vegans?
She did Foxblood, and then she has another one called Foxfire, which is kind of like scorpion chili hot sauce or whatever. But yeah, this was one of the very first times. This is from like 2016 or 17 at Reading Terminal Market, which is like a big foodie paradise in Philadelphia. I said, hey, let's do a collaboration. And
it's beer washed cheese Foxblood is what it is then, right? So it's like a beer cheese is what you're saying. And because then it says sharp cheddar, so that's separate. Okay, word.
That was sort of if I remember correctly, the sharp cheddar was melted on.
There's only one problem with this, John.
What?
Why are they putting ketchup on a hot dog, man?
That was a sales thing. That was not my idea. They sort of added that on, like the ranch too. And I get it. They were back then. I was not known as well as I am today for food collabs. I was just a food truck guy, and they were like, "Hey, let's try it." And to be honest, they moved them out. You know what I mean? They were, Wizard World was next door. At the convention center.
I'd rather eat pineapple on a pizza than eat ketchup on a hot dog. That's just me personally. I'm just saying.
You know what? I don't know. I might have to be a vegan if those are my two choices, because I can't stand
Spit it, Jay. All right, here we go.
And yes, Preston, beer wash can make up for a lot of culinary sins in particular. No whammies.
And the winner is Adrian. Congrats,
congratulations.
Bro.
Yo, Adrian.
Oh, God, he's really on it now. All right.
I bet Adrian never gets tired of that either.
I bet he doesn't.
But
it's healed.
I've never heard that before.
Never heard it. All right, so Jay. All right, so we got Robbie at 9 Eastern, and Ford Fairlane is the movie of the night. If you didn't notice,
yeah, I gotta get home. Hey.
Yeah, the Andrew Dice Clay Classic, man.
All right, and what do we got coming up on the EXP tonight, Jay?
So I don't have a link or anything for it yet, but Kyle says we're doing a sales show at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. So keep 2 tabs open. I'm going to have to watch this amazing...
doesn't Kyle know that I do a show?
I know. And you're doing one of my favorite movies too, so I'm going to have to watch it on the rewind, catch all the awesome quotes that I'm going to miss.
Well,
Really
Jay,
sad.
ask yourself, what would Andrew Dice Clay do if he was in your shoes? Think about that.
But have you guys had time to do like one of the Photoshop things where you've got like Thelma and Louise, but it's your and Kyle's head on there?
Did you happen to see the one he did for him and Henri?
Yeah,
I think I saw that last night or the other night.
I think I saw that the other day. Those were all really good.
Yeah, it's nightmare fuel. But at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, you can come back to the experience. And I'm trying to get the link. Hold on, there we go. We got Best Coast Comics. They're going to be with Paper Chase Comics, and they're going to be talking about dirty comic flippers.
Oh boy, that's a blast from the 90s, right? Speculators and such.
Oh yeah, right. All right,
it's still happening. So
Well, I was going to joke around and say I still have 17 issues of Death of Superman unopened in bags with the little cloth and stuff in there.
Oh man,
who am I to talk?
Every comic shop in America sells one of those a year.
And in 1,000 years,
If I have to make a run, I'm going to use this
they
currency.
might make a dent. All right,
That's one of our
I
bits
will
we
be
do at our
back-
shop when people bring us Death of Superman or Spawn #1. We're like, I sell like one a year, so right now I got a 20-year supply, so not interested.
You to work that like call other people and say, "Oh my God, have a cop come over to guard this," and then offer them like $3.
Hey, does that also go for the ultra rare white polybag version of that Death of Superman?
Oh my goodness.
Ultra rare.
All right, so check out Robbie at 9 p.m. Eastern on PCP. Come back to the EXP tonight and sales show with Kyle and Jay, I guess. Is that right?
You know, some people
Time's
like
gonna
to
tell
play.
on Dark Hawk #1, Preston. Trust me.
Some people like to play hard to get. I like to play. I messed it up. What was the quote?
You did
Never
mess
mind.
it up.
I'll do it later. Some people like to play hard to get. I like to play hard to want. Hey.
Oh.
Oh my
Thanks
God.
for joining us, everybody.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you.
Jay. I don't know why you left this on the air, but thank you. If I was Jay, I'd shut this off.
All right, I'll be back Wednesday at 7. As always, appreciate everyone here. All right,
Congratulations to the winners. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
peace.